Well, so in my line of work, we experienced a pretty significant cyber attack as well, so I kind of got to see firsthand the impact of such an event, and just, I mean, for my company, just the regulations and higher scrutiny of business and that kind of stuff. And so, to me, what I feel like we did a good job on was education. It's not just community members, but it's our city leaders and our workers and that kind of stuff, making sure they understand, hackers are getting very clever these days, and I personally don't like clicking on any links anymore because it gives access to people so easy anymore. So really, I think it's about education is where you start, and then getting the right people in the right roles, and I think that's where we need to rely on our city leadership, to our city manager, to get those right people in the right roles to help that education and teaching people as they need to. Well, I've spent a lot of time going back and watching a lot of the past meetings as much as I can, and I've spent time talking to current council members and the mayor and some other folks around town. I've been really blessed being able to have that opportunity to have those communications with people, and they've all been excellent to talk to. And generally, I would say I'm very positive and supportive of the majority of the decisions that's been made. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of data that I may not necessarily be privy to help in some of those decision-making processes. So city leaders and council alike, that I'm sure there's information that they're using to make some of those decisions. But when I think back to several of the, I would say, somewhat recent things, but I think a lot of the positives I see: investing in our town and through our parks. They just approved replacing the turf at Madison Park, which, last time I was there, that's something that's needed to be done, and that's a very popular park. And the streets, I mean, I think Derby does a really good job. While there's still streets that need some work, but we're getting there, and I think our city does a good job keeping that up. And the traffic control, I hear a lot of differing opinions on the yellow blinking lights, but that's for another day. I think our city leaders do a good job with tax adjustments, and when they continue to adjust as needed. And really, the only negative one I see is kind of our recent one around the outdoor structures, and I think that I like the idea of spending the extra time, but I also don't like government control either. So I think I wish we would have had a little bit more thought into that, and but I understand. So I support the decision they made.